My name is Tarmack, and this is your game industry news wrap-up for the Bethesda E3 2016 press conference. Bethesda didn't waste any time during their press conference, loading up a fake command line on the screen and launching into a pretty slick-looking trailer to announce id Software's next foray into territory they've been before, Quake Champions. It's an arena shooter based around an extremely high performance standard at 120Hz and with unlocked frame rates for those in the audience who have the power. What was interesting were the comments surrounding the unique characters with distinct attributes and abilities. Given that Quake has a history of multiplayer with weapon swapping like Doom, this kind of makes it sound like we're going to get Overwatch but with ability to swap weapons, and that's pretty neat. Over Quake. Quaker Watch. Something like that. Next up was a few DLC packs for Fallout 4 that are coming, including Contraptions next week, which is kind of a Rube Goldberg machine DLC. Vault Tech in July, which is house building but making your own vault, and finally, the last DLC that will be released for Fallout 4, Nuka World, a post-apocalyptic story mission theme park taken over by bandits. There was also some crap about the mobile Fallout Shelter game. Apparently it's Bethesda's most played game of all time, which means that there are people who have played Fallout Shelter but not Fallout. And frankly, that's stupid. Bethesda made everyone who was watching gasp in hopeful reverence, only to have our hopes dashed by mediocre hardware. Skyrim is getting a remastered version for the consoles and a mildly remastered version on PC. It includes higher res textures, lighting effects, depth of field, new snow and water shaders, and also comes along with mod support on the consoles. I say mildly remastered on PC because the PC version has had high res textures for a while, and many of those other things come from mods already. Arkane Studios popped up on stage, but it became clear quickly that the guy speaking wasn't talking about Dishonored 2. The game they announced is called Prey. No, not Prey 2, which would make sense. Bethesda's moving away from numbers, it would seem. Prey takes place in a future world, but includes a psychological element as evidenced by the Groundhog Day repetition of days and these weird black tendril beasties. Unfortunately, at this point, only pre-rendered footage was available, so we didn't get to see any gameplay, but I like the theme. Doom is getting some free DLC with new modifications to Snap Map, some new maps and modes, as well as improved multiplayer. In July, we'll also see the release of Unto the Evil, the first paid DLC for Doom with 3 new maps, a new playable demon, a new gun, and more. It's good to see continued support. I've made the case that Blizzard is the only real company out there supporting their games long term, but I'm starting to get a good feeling about where Bethesda is going lately. They did make one very good announcement, but it has a questionable piece. For the next week, gamers can download the first level of Doom for free, effectively Doom shareware for those of us older than dirt. I have no idea why they would limit it to just a week though, that seems short-sighted. Elder Scrolls Online got a bit of screen time discussing the history of the game, where we found out that apparently they've got 7 million players. Pretty impressive for a game that I played once and never touched again. And wow, that one lady in the audience was screaming like Oprah was giving out cars during the whole ESO section. On June 23rd, Elder Scrolls Online will be launching in Japan. ESO has just had an expansion pack on PC and Mac called the Dark Brotherhood, which brings a lot of sneaking and assassinating to Elder Scrolls and hits the consoles this week. I'm particularly fond of the kill animations, they're very visceral. Not so keen on the crotch stab though. But the real announcement for Elder Scrolls is something called One Tamriel. As near as I can tell, this appears to be a dynamic level balancing system which allows any player to play in any area of the game and with any other person, regardless of what level range of those areas or people are at. That's a hell of a change, and it will be launching in the fall. The big reveal of the press event was, of course, the Dishonored 2 gameplay trailer. One of the most interesting parts of this, though, is just how casually Bethesda confirmed that Emily Kaldwin is Corvo Attano's daughter, something only speculated at in the community. It's right there in the gameplay trailer, so don't get mad at me for spoiling it. I've got to admit, the game looks pretty good, but yet that's not where I feel this game is going to shine. Both Corvo and Emily have distinct abilities, with a solid upgrade path for both. And if you're like me, you've seen a bunch of those videos of crazy Dishonored plays on YouTube with the amazing use of abilities, killing all kinds of people in a really short period of time. One of the new abilities is called Domino, where you can link NPCs together, where one experiences something, the other NPCs experience the same thing. The devs spoke at length about how creative players are, with one of their own devs using Domino when he came upon a firing squad to have the NPC with the gun kill himself by shooting at the heretic in front of him. That is emergent gameplay, and I love it. Now, this announcement came before Dishonored 2 in the press event, but I felt it was the most important, so I saved it for last. Doom and Fallout 4 are going to be released as virtual reality titles. Bethesda said that the platform of choice doesn't matter, though it does appear they're releasing via Steam VR in 2017. This is exactly what VR needs: major label support from games that, while they may not be perfect for VR, at the very least would look amazing in it. I say not perfect because of how much movement is involved. I cannot wait to try Doom in VR. That just sounds like the greatest thing ever. This has been your game industry news wrap up for the E3 2016 Bethesda press event. I'm Tarmack. Thanks for watching.